the 4 dams that come under the jurisdiction of Bhakra Byas Management Board. So this I have already covered. So it is a result of Indus Valley Treaty with Pakistan conducted in 1960. So coming to Byas Dam, as I am working as superintendent engineer at Byas Dam, I'm looking after the management of Byas Dam. Regulation is not a part of my job, but basically the management of dam, reservoir, and appurtenant structures. So the river on which Byas Dam is constructed is Byas River. Maharana Pratap Reservoir it is called. The origin of the Byas is from Rohtang Pass, near Rohtang Kund, Byas Kund near Rohtang. From Pando it comes to Byas Dam, and ultimately it merges at Harike Pattan, Satluj Byas at Harike Pattan. So the catchment of area of Byas Dam is very huge. 12,560 square kilometers is the catchment area of Byas Dam. So I would like to bring to the notice here that we have experienced extremely high floods during the year 2023 and 2025. As you can see, that is on August 14, 2023, inflow to the tune of 7,30,000 cusics was observed. That was the highest in the history of the construction of dam. And these are the general information about the dam. It is a earth core gravel shell dam, and during the floods of 1988, the normal reservoir level was 1400, but during the floods of 1988, after a meeting, it was decided that the reservoir level has to be restricted to 1390 feet. But during 2023, the continuous observation of the dam structure was done. As it is the safety of the dam, we have our set O&M manuals with us, and they are being strictly followed, and operation and maintenance activities are carried out religiously. I would like to bring to the notice of the audience that in the year 2025 itself, low level had repair and maintenance of tunnels. We have 5 outlets or tunnels. There are 2 irrigation tunnels and 3 penstock tunnels. The repair and maintenance, as per O&M manual, the repair and maintenance is proposed to be carried out after every 5 years, or not more than 8 years. So the basic restriction here is that we have to get the particular level to get the repair and maintenance done. So with the approval and permission of all the partner states, the closure was given, and successfully completion of repair and maintenance of penstock tunnels, 2-number penstock tunnels was carried out. And it was proposed to carry out the repair of 1-number irrigation tunnel, but due to restriction in time available, that is proposed to be carried out in the coming year, during the lean period, sir. So this is the layout of the dam. So this is a maximum section. It is a earth core gravel shell dam. The crest at the top of the dam is 45 feet. The base is 2,000 feet wide. So number of instruments, as I have already told, there are 5 number of tunnels are there. 3 for these 3 are penstock tunnels that cater to the need of powerhouse, and 2 are irrigation tunnels. There is spillway. The spillway maximum capacity of the spillway of the reservoir is 4,37,000 cusics, and there is tilling basin with hewed blocks and dented sill. A number of instruments have been installed in the dam body to monitor the health of the body. dam body, and regular readings from these instruments are being taken and analysis is being done by the separate cell, that is design as well as dam safety cell at Nangal. And I must bring to the notice of the audience here that during the 2023 floods, total of 40 operations, 20 up and down, 20 down operations of our spillway gates were conducted during that period, and they were successfully conducted without any obstruction because of the proper maintenance as per ONN manual. So number of instruments such as twin tube piezometer, slope indicators to monitor the deflection. There are seismic instruments installed at top, toe and center of the body, and as per guidelines of NDSA as well as the Dam Safety Act, upgradation of instrument is being proposed and is being done, continuously done. So Beas Dam is at a high risk zone. It is under zone 5. So earthquakes are likely to occur there. So we are continuously monitoring any activities or any changes in the dam, but thankfully till now the design of the dam was done to take care of earthquake up to the magnitude of 8 as per the based on the 1905 Kangra earthquake. So what happens is basically downstream of Vyas Dam there is Shah Nair Barrage, and the jurisdiction of Shah Nair Barrage is with Punjab administration, and up to Harike Pattan certain area from which the Beas river passes falls under Himachal Pradesh government. 36 to 37 kilometers is under Himachal Pradesh government. Mand area, Fatehpur, Indora are the areas that are mostly affected during the floods, and there is need of channeling of the river, and flood protection banks have to be developed and studies need to be done for that. And I would like to bring to the notice that Bhakra Beas Management Board is working towards this, and this issue has been brought in the Northern Zonal Committee meeting that was held on 1st of January, and CWC has humbly agreed to carry out the studies for flood planning studies, the EM model studies, and the time period that has been proposed is 3 months, or carrying capacity of the downstream slopes that will be available to us from which we can upgrade our emergency action plan. We have our emergency action plan in line, and where duties of all the officers have been defined, and it is being updated every year with respect to the contact numbers and any other information. Different color zoning is also being done there.
May I request you to wind up, ma'am, now?
Pardon, sir?
Can you kindly wind up now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, for the safety of the dam, regular inspections are being carried out. Independent expert body of experts was formed by the board, and they carried out the comprehensive dam evaluations on 30th of June last year, and certain points were raised by them, and we are complying those. Pre and post monsoon inspections are being carried out regularly, and report is being uploaded on Dharma portal also. Sir, as
Ma'am, this is all mostly technical, so I think we can avoid and we can stop there.
Okay, sir. Sir, the lessons learned is inundation maps have been prepared for Beas Dam, for which training programs have been organized for the state of Himachal Pradesh officers to create awareness among them. And for the upgradation of EAP, the matter has been taken up with the IIT Roorkee, and after floodplain studies and carrying capacity studies have been done, we will be able to prepare the upgraded emergency action plan. Sir,
Thank you, ma'am.
sir, I need to show some
Okay.
graphs. So certain comparison we have done. So as you can see, the red line indicates the inflow of water during the year 2023. That is from 1st July to 8th of October. And as you can see, purple line indicates the water levels during 2025. As I have earlier told that the water level was reduced to 1290 feet for carrying out the low level inspection, that is a requisition, but there was unprecedented heavy inflows in the reservoir, but controlled discharges were done by the Beas Dam administration as per the directions or decision taken in the technical committee meetings that comprise of members from the partner state, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh and Haryana also. Blue color indicates the inflow and yellow color indicates the outflow, that discharge that were made from the reservoir. As you can see, this is a data regarding the operation of gates. Only 21 times the gate operation have been carried out in the Beas Dam reservoir, and continuously 2023 or 25 May we have to operate the gates. And what was the difference between the floods of 23 and 24? During 2023, the peak was attained on a particular day, that is during 14th of August. The maximum inflow came, that is 7,30,000 cusics. Earlier, the maximum observed inflow was 7,15,000 cusics only. So this is a comparison. In the year 2023, the maximum opening was 16.75 feet of the gates, whereas in the year 2025 it was 14.35. However, the operations, up and down operations, were maximum during 2025 because continuous inflows were coming during that period. Sir, lessons learned from the
Ma'am,
past.
we'll have lunch only at 5 o'clock otherwise. So I will request you, if you can kindly, you can just leave this slide on. Leave the last slide on so that people can have a broad look at it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your. The important aspect of the Bakra Beas management is how to synchronize the early warning. What has happened? That is what exactly the problem which happened in 2025 was the lack of synchronization between different organizations. And you will hear from Colonel Chandola later the importance of early warning, which he will highlight subsequently. This is something that we have to work on. BBMD has to also be in sync with the government of Punjab completely, with the CWC, to make sure that whatever information is building up on the water flow is passed on, adequately sort of shared with people, right? Okay, so we'll stop at that. Thank you very much. And may I now request from the Ministry of Road, Transport and Highways, Shri Ashim Bansal, Project Officer of the NHAI, to make his presentation. May I request you, sir, to keep it very brief.
Right, sir.
And highlight particularly the aspect of Kathua, Madhopur, Kathua, this entire area where we had problems of the highway during 2025. What is being done about it?
Sir, my presentation will be on the generic view of the. Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon to all. First, I would like to extend my deepest regards and gratitude to NDMA, Western Command, and other stakeholders for organizing this much-needed awareness conference. Today's presentation, I would focus on how Ministry of Road Transport and Highway is strengthening the resilience of India's road infrastructure through a robust disaster management plan. As you all are aware, Ministry of Road Transport is the apex central government ministry responsible for the development and maintenance of national highways. It formulates road transport policies and overall improvement of road safety. Road infrastructure is highly vulnerable to disasters. National highways acts as a primary evacuation corridors, emergency response lifelines, supply routes for relief materials. Any disruption may result in delay in rescue operations, economic losses, public safety risks. Hence, the integration of DRM plan is critical for Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. The MORTH disaster management plan has two sub-plans that are two volumes. The first volume deals with the disaster affecting the highways, especially natural hazards. It explains what hazards and disasters mean in the context of road infrastructure and how these events impact safety and continuity of transport. The focus is on disaster risk reduction, that is preventing new risk, reducing existing risks, and building resilience into our highways. It also highlights the importance of proper planning, sound engineering design, risk analysis, and early warning systems. It also emphasizes coordination among central ministries, state government, local authorities, and other stakeholders. Clear response strategies are laid out to ensure that when a disaster occurs, action is swift, coordinated, and effective. Finally, it addresses recovery and reconstruction, stressing the need for a long-term planning, sustainability, and restoration of connectivity. This I have covered. The second part focuses on these road accident disasters, which remain a serious challenge for our country. India accounts for a significant share of global road fatalities with a very high number of accidents and deaths every year. The MORTH acts as a nodal agency for managing road accident-related disasters. It defines the institutional framework involving the road safety division, field units, road operator, that is concessionaires. It proposes response teams and incident management systems to ensure timely rescue, medical assistance, and traffic management. The strong emphasis is given to preparedness, including road safety audits, scientific crash investigation, safety engineering, and capacity building of stakeholders. The plan also outlines response and recovery measures such as control room, setup of control room operations, emergency coordination, financial assistance, and medical assistance to accident road victims. There are two schemes. First one has been constituted as per section 161 of Motor Vehicle Act, and the second one under 162 of Motor Vehicle Act. Now I would like to showcase practical examples of proactive disaster risk reduction, particularly in the flood-prone areas. In Punjab, for instance, greenfield highways intersect natural drainage channels and floodplains. To address this, extensive drainage structures have been provided based on the hydrological studies, joint inspection with the state irrigation departments and local stakeholders. After the recent floods, additional scientific studies have also been conducted. As of now, 1,000 kilometer, there are ongoing projects of 1,000 kilometers in the state of Punjab, and we have provided 5,000 additional cross drainage structures. Average would be 4 cross drainage structures in 1 kilometer. We have also conducted hydrological studies on the critical locations through IIT Roorkee. 1,100 meter additional opening have been provided in Ghaggar River in Patiala district on the undergoing Delhi-Katra Expressway, and 1,400 meter additional openings have been provisioned in Beas River in Kapurthala district. Another highlight I would like to make is the collaborative work with the state governments. Memorandum of understanding have been signed with Haryana government and Punjab as well to support the flood mitigation measures, such as creation of water ponds in river Tangri in Haryana and river desilting of river Satluj in Ludhiana district. These initiatives offer dual benefits, reducing flood intensity while optimizing resource utilization in highway embankment construction. This reflects a sustainable cooperative model of infrastructure development and inter-agency synergy. Map is missing here. Sir, and I would like to add one thing. There are future plans of NHAI for the Chandigarh Tri-City to increase the highway mobility, strengthen the highway infrastructure, and providing an alternate response system. Actually, map is not visible here. So, we are undertaking a western bypass which is under construction. The first phase is completed from IT City Kharad to Kurali. It is open to traffic, the new greenfield highway. And another one is going on. It is 75% completed from Ambala to Chandigarh. It's altogether a new greenfield alignment. It will be completed in September 2026. It will act as a western bypass for the Chandigarh Tri-City. And in addition to it, eastern bypass, Zirakpur Panchkula bypass, that has been sanctioned by Government of India and is currently under bidding, likely to commence by the end of this year. So by this, we'll have the capacity augmentation and end-to-end connectivity. We are providing interchanges at all the critical junctions, nodes, and we are integrating the intelligent transport system and traffic management system. And obviously, it will be a reliable alternative route for disaster during the disasters. So I would like to conclude that disaster management is not an isolated activity. It is an integral part of highway planning, construction, operation, and road safety management. Through strong institutional coordination, scientific planning, and proactive measures, we are committed to ensuring India's road infrastructure remains safe, resilient, dependable, even in the face of disasters. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I only hope that the new projects that the MORTH is setting up, NHAI also in part of that is setting up, is taking into consideration the recommendations which were given out here in some of the interventions, that new infrastructure of this nature actually interferes many times with the water flow system, the drainage of the entire region. So I hope some consultation on this is all the time on.
That's what I mentioned in my presentation also. We are already coordinating with the state irrigation departments so that there is no disturbance to the natural streams or as per the records.
Okay, that's all, just as long as that thing is included.
There is a system of drainage NOC. For every highway bridge, they have to apply to the water source department for NOC, and once we,
Right, so that coordination is on, and that's the important thing. Now, obviously looking at hungry faces around, sometimes you have to take command decisions. You know, so I have taken a command decision on behalf of GOC 11 Corps, the conductor, who is the choreographer of this entire program, that we will have the NDRF presentation, and the presentation by Colonel Dheeraj Chandola will take place in the open house. He needs 10-15 minutes to explain that early warning part of it, and that's a very important input for everyone. So we'll keep him for that period. Now my request to the NDRF, and the NDRF is one of the most important organizations, as you are aware of, and in this period of 2025, in this particular period, August and September in Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, etc., Haryana, their role was really of a very marked nature. It's not only here, but everywhere where the NDRF has always been of a very, very high quality. So my request to you is, please tell us a little about your experience. the challenges you faced out here, and in terms of coordination and cooperation. That's the most important thing.
I'll do my best, sir. I'll go fast as directed and try to figure out the challenges, few common challenges. Good afternoon, everybody, honorable dignitaries, senior officers, various stakeholders, and media friends who are sitting here for the very important awareness program on disaster risk resilience under the aegis of NDMA in coordination with Western Command Chandigarh. I also extend my thanks to my force and NDRF to present me this opportunity to present here on the topic emerging challenges in disaster response. Basically, I'll be covering my presentation. I was planning to cover my presentation in 4 parts, but now as sir has directed, I'll just rush through on the important points. After a brief introduction, it will be the major disasters in the preceding year, then few common challenges and way forward. This is NDMA, the apex body for making policy decisions and framing the disaster plans for the nation. NDRF, we are mandated for responding to any man-made or natural disasters in the country, and when we are not doing that, we are into preparedness, training of our sister agencies, the community awareness programs, school safety programs, as somebody was mentioning in the previous talks, and we also conduct familiarization exercises throughout the AOR to get ourselves acquainted with the vulnerability profiles of the area where we are deployed or where we are to work. And in times of, we have been talking about early warning systems and the predictions. When we have an impending disaster like cyclones or heavy rains, etc., we do proactive deployment, and also there is a lot of pre-positioning of the teams across the country, especially in the monsoons, on the basis of previous data and the predictions. And then obviously there is specialized response in the unfortunate case of any disaster. Today, the disaster preparedness and response is not only limited to the traditional scenarios of floods, earthquakes. We have increased frequency of complex disasters like extreme weather events, floods, landslides, cloudbursts, GLOFs, floods, cyclones, heat and cold waves. Also, we saw a series of pandemics, many accidents, tunnels, mines, aircraft, railway, ropeway accidents. New dimensions are being added to disaster response with each passing day. Coming to which leads to frequent deployments of the available responder agencies across the country, including NDRF. Then coming to the recent monsoons, the disasters caused extensive damage to the life and property in these Himalayan states throughout the monsoon season, which also saw an extensive response by multiple responders, sir, including Army, Air Force, SDRF, and there were also many volunteers, including Abda Mitras, a key project of NDMA. Coming to the few major disasters of the preceding year where NDRF teams were deployed along with other agencies. Avalanche struck Mana in February 2025, on 28th of February, where around 54 BRO workers, laborers were trapped under heavy snow. And this 3-day tiring and very, the operation conducted in very tough terrain, under tough conditions, led to rescue of 46 persons, and 8 deceased were recovered. Cutting short to the challenges, as you can see in the pics, heavy accumulation of snow, cold weather, extreme weather conditions, broken communication lines, and lack of access, broken access roads. These were all the conditions, including that night operations. In these type of conditions, conducting night operations, finding the victims under snow, it's a tough job. Then there was a detailed presentation on Himachal floods, Mandi outburst. There on 30th of June, around 2300 hours, there were reports of multiple cloudbursts across the state in Mandi, and 3 of these districts, DC Rana sir has explained very well, Thuna, Gor and Janjeli were badly affected with deployment of 3 teams. I must say not deployment, mobilization of 3 teams, because this 19 days this was 19 days operation, which started from 1st of July. But the main challenge was to reach the affected place, because washed out roads were there, all the communication lines were broken initially, and every responder agency, not only us, even civil administration, they were finding it difficult to contact and reach the affected community in these 3 places. However, this operation also led to evacuations, safe evacuation of 134 victims, and also provided the medical assistance or pre-hospital treatment to 242 persons. You can see in the left corner below pic that rescuers, they had to go reach the incident sites with their rescue equipment on foot through this dense forest in inclement weather conditions. So these were some challenges during this disaster in Himachal. Also, what happens is during this long time when access routes are broken and routine supplies cannot happen continuously, then shortage of essential supplies also becomes a problem after a few days. Dharali floods.
Don't go into too much detail.
Sir.
Just show us some of the instances and tell us about the lessons learned.
So these were the Dharali flash floods. The main challenge was the huge pile of debris under which victims got buried and are still missing. Then Punjab, Kishtwar cloudburst, similar conditions. The pilgrims en route to Machil Mata Yatra got trapped under this due to the cloudburst and the debris that flew on them on the nearby settlements. Again, there was huge pile of debris, and in this particularly, the teams, even CO 13 NDRF is sitting here. He himself led the operation on ground. The main challenge was to find the missing victims up to 40 kilometers downstream. So that was again in these inclement weather and in these tough terrain and without access roads, this was a tough operation of around many days. Punjab floodwater we have talked about a lot. NDRF team was also deployed around 24 days, 23 districts all were affected, 25 teams of NDRF were committed, which led to the data is on the screen. Few challenges were navigation in unknown submerged roads, because you cannot see the road, and we have a outboard motor on our inflatable rescue boat. So what happens is that during this period the paddy crops are grown almost to the we can say 60% of their growth, and they get stuck in the propeller of the boat, and that's a huge challenge in boat maneuvering in the flooded fields throughout the monsoon season and through the floods during this time. Also, somebody was mentioning we have faced this problem particularly. People resist to evacuate from the submerged houses and their properties because of out of the safety concerns, obviously. And after a few days, when the water starts accumulating, like especially in Fazilka, there was a lot of water accumulation. The last team evacuated in the last phase of the flood. Then the water starts smelling, and then you start facing hygiene risks. Though nothing that sort of happened, fortunately. And there are some medical emergent evacuations, especially for our battalions. Maybe somebody would have heard. There were many cases, including night evacuation of 2 expecting mothers. Out of them, one even gave birth to a healthy child on the next day. Few of the people in that operation, rescuers in the operation, are with me here or around this campus. Then, as I was talking, I was also saying in the starting slide, it was a good coordination basically this year as compared to 23 or previous experiences. There was better communication. I'll just talk about one slide, that center on the top. You can see a helicopter, Air Force helicopter. It just happened when the Madhapur gates broke. One of the worker of the authorities, unfortunately, he died and his body got stuck. And due to the prevailing conditions, nobody was able to locate that body. But on the 3rd day, even the supervising officer of that operation is sitting here with me, Deputy Commander Pankaj. On the 3rd day, somehow from very far they could locate the body hanging from the broken structure, and team commander, our team commander, Inspector Vikram, approached the civil authorities to get in a very filmy style. He requested for a helicopter that we are not able to go to the spot to retrieve the victim. If we can get a chopper to drop our team near the gates, we can try to retrieve the victim. Same happened, and they successfully retrieved the victim. Obviously, there was no life saving, but this point is important because of the interagency coordination that sir was talking about. RB was there, obviously. You can see in Firozpur, I also went to that place. They were trying to stop making the bunds and trying to stop the breakage of bunds, sir. And in the leftmost photograph here, there was the Abda Mitra teams along with civil administration and NDRF. They were clearing the bridge on river Satluj at Jalandhar. A lot of bushes were stuck, and if the water flow would have not passed through, it could have made damage to the bridge, sir. And on the right corner, there was an NGO with their own rescue boat, and they had volunteered to help the affected community. Most of the challenges have already been covered since morning. Climate change, global warming has led to increased frequency of varied disasters, and changing weather cycles and disaster patterns are leading to more and more different kind of disasters, longer operation periods, and increased strain on the limited resources, including equipment, manpower, and logistics. Then there are few common challenges during the disasters, not only limited to this year or a particular operation. Often the panic and chaos at the incident site leads to law and order situations, because the impatient victims or bystanders or their near or dear ones, they often pose a great challenge for the rescue teams to carry on with their task as per established protocols. Just a small example, like if we get a call, we have 2 rescue boats deployed at a place, and we are in coordination with the civil administration. We are getting some direction to reach a point and evacuate some personnel, but the local person on ground might not be aware of the severe situation at that place. He'll just try to make influence to use the boat as per the wishes or as per requirement of his immediate community or immediate, we can say, village or neighborhood. So evacuation refusal already covered. Resource handling that has been done very well in 2025 floods. I remember my CEO calling directly the Additional Chief Secretary sir and all. They were on talks, and Sakshi ma'am in Amritsar. They were in very well good coordination, because most of the teams were deployed in Amritsar. And because the teams are limited, the areas affected are more. So if I am holding an NDRF team or any other rescue resource, and I'll keep that resource with me till more pressure is not exerted, because obviously because of the safety concerns for my community or the people around me. But then it has to be understood that the limited resources are to be deployed on priority to the more affected and more vulnerable places, and that can only be done with a good coordination. That was excellent especially during these floods, and thanks to the state leadership. This was a point of, especially from Himachal, or we can say even Uttarakhand, when the disaster strikes the interior and far-flung areas, the disrupted communication lines and broken access roads, disrupted communication, this shortage of essential supplies. As I already told in starting, the resource mobilization is a big challenge for the civil administration as well as the rescue agencies. We might think of creating, they are already there, as sir was saying, there are a lot of resources in India. Creating small resource hubs in inaccessible areas which have been susceptible to disaster in the previous past at subdivision level may be helpful. They may be containing some fuel for generators, rescue equipment, heavy machinery for moving the rubble, and some common medical and food supplies, and emergency communication systems. Even one-node satellite phone will help if it is there. Then somebody was talking about this search of victims. Yes, this is a big challenge. The number of missing victims and distress of their families during recent disasters in Dherali, then Kishtwar, in Wayanad in 2024, poses great challenges for all the civil administration and rescue agencies to locate and retrieve the victims that are buried under huge piles of debris, because it is very difficult to manually dig the 30 to 40 feet of debris in such conditions where even heavy machinery is difficult to reach and launch. So rigorous efforts for training of cadaver search canines are already on at war footing, but still non-availability of essential required technology for cadaver search is a big challenge for responder agencies, sir. This is more of a collapse structure specific point. Following of building bylaws and encroachment and choking has already been, of natural drainage systems has been covered. So this is a long topic, sir, and a never-ending topic of debate and discussion, but now I'll be like to concluding this. Lack of awareness is also one of the challenge. Knowledge of IRS, incident response system, and updated disaster management plans is a must for all the stakeholders. Disaster response is a cohesive teamwork for efficient disaster response. If even one link is not aware of its responsibilities, it will affect the whole response system. That is for sure. So further, as somebody was also talking about early warning systems earlier, lot of nationalized, lot of agencies are predicting, making very good predictions for all type of inclement weather conditions or the impending disasters, and they are being passed through very easily available apps like Sachet, Bhukam, Damini, Meghdut, etc. Sorry, as sir was saying that it will be discussed also later on, but they are still underutilized by the common man. We as NDRF, we try our best during. Sir, yes, sir. So I'd like to complete here. Complexity and requirements of changing disaster response environment are increasing with time, and all-inclusive holistic approach towards the various emerging challenges will enhance this response effectiveness. Application of advanced technology and AI, as General Brar was also saying. Thank you, sir. And strengthen preparedness at grassroots level. As an NDRF officer, NDRF has declared 2026 as its year of capacity building, and we have got our targets to increase the frequency of the capacity building programs that we are conducting throughout the country for the community and especially for the schools. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much. I think that was very, very comprehensively covered. The generic aspects and the region Western Command theatre-based aspects were very, very well covered. Some of the issues, particularly I think which I took away from your presentation, one was the aspect of small resource hubs in the mountains. That is a good idea, a good thought process. There's some application has been done to that. We'll try and take this forward in conjunction with you all. Cadaver dogs, we are happy to tell you that the NDRF itself has taken it upon itself to develop more and more cadaver dogs. They've got 6 dogs now, I think, with you. 6 dogs are there available. In Wayanad, we did not have a single cadaver dog at that time. And the technology to recover or even to identify, not identify, but locate buried bodies, buried mortal remains of human beings, the technology is very, very suspect even now. There's a lot of work going on in different sectors, but nothing very reliable which has come about so far. So with that, we'll come to this end of this session. And sorry that we have almost 30 minutes late, but we'll have Colonel Chandola's very important session on early warning subsequently during the question hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our esteemed speakers for shedding light on the operational realities and institutional responses that shape future action on the ground. Now, I would like to request Lieutenant General Ajay Chandpuria, General Officer Commanding 11 Corps, to please present the mementos to the guest speakers. Shri Dalvinderjeet Singh, IAS, Deputy Commissioner, Amritsar. Engineer H.S. Mendirata, Chief Engineer, Water Resources Department, Punjab. Engineer Manveer Chaudhary, Bhakra Byas Management Board. Shri Ashim Bansal, Project Officer, National Highway Authority of India. Shri Rishi Mahajan, Second in Command, 7th Battalion, National Disaster Response Force. Colonel Dheeraj Chandola, Retired Senior Consultant, National Disaster Management Authority. Thank you, sir. Now I request all panel members of session 3 to please assemble for the group photograph. Thank you, sir. After an enlightening panel discussion, I now request everyone to please move for lunch on your left. You may visit the exhibition area as well. I request everyone to please be seated by 14:20 hours for the start of the last session. Thank you.
need to be strengthened. There must be technical manpower which should be deployed so that you don't have the need to set up a PMU for every project. I think this is where I believe that the states can definitely have a lot of leverage. Nonetheless, it was a very good presentation on the part of the Himachal. Now, I'll request Mr. Nomal Jamil to present the JNK's point of view. You have 10 minutes, please.
Good afternoon. I would take the opportunity of presenting the institutional framework of the disaster management in Jammu and Kashmir. I would begin with signifying the inherent hazard risk of the Jammu and Kashmir, because in that way we can have an insight about the disaster challenges in Jammu and Kashmir, and why, along with the disaster risk management, disaster risk reduction is equally important, and the UT of government of Jammu and Kashmir is working upon. This is, as you all know, that UT of Jammu and Kashmir is predominantly a mountainous state. It has a strategic location bordered by many countries and the states. It has a diverse administrative division, Jammu and Kashmir, which are entirely distinct with each other, which poses a great challenge for the disaster managers. We have highly dissected mountains interspersed with deep valleys and valleys. Climatic conditions, again, they are different in both the divisions, and which have further variations within the region. This is the hazard profile of the Jammu and Kashmir. Unlike other states and like other Himalayan states and UTs, all hazards are prevalent in Jammu and Kashmir, and we are vulnerable to almost every disaster, be it geological disasters, hydrometeorological hazards, be it industrial, biological, or others. So all of the hazards are present there, and we are highly vulnerable to almost all disasters. Coming to the earthquake, we used to be in zone 4 and 5 of the seismic.
This year has carried out AI-based survey of all the roads of MC Gurgaon area. It is about 1833 kilometers of the roads. And there we have installed AI-enabled cameras, which carried out the survey and identified how many manholes we are having. These manholes are proper or not, whether the manhole cover is placed or not. If the manhole cover is placed, it is below the surface or above the surface, whether there is footpath or not, or any broken road, if there is a pothole or there is crack on the road. Everything has been measured and mapped in the software. The same thing we would like to happen, we will report in the drainage also. We are having the database of all the roads now. Now we will go for the drains, and we will mark the whole GIS of all the parameters on the drains also. For the smaller drains, MC Gurgaon will do this exercise, and for the larger drains, GMD will do this exercise. I am hopeful that this will be helpful in identifying the catchment area of each drain, where are the blockages, whether the blockages are man-made or from the silt, etc. Or which of the drains can carry out the low-lying areas are connected to these drains. For example, just I want to say that all of the parameters that we have covered in the roads, those will be covered in the drains also, like the catchment area, low-lying area, those can be connected to the drains. The encroachments, those are there, or the population, those are likely to be added on these areas, so that we can have enough knowledge about these drains. Next day. And all of this will be considered in the, what I mean to say, that in the AI-based software, and we will carry out the next year onwards, we will do all of such exercise like desilting and other maintenance of the drains through the app based on the AI system. Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Thank you. Urban flooding is a very important subject, particularly for the states which are vulnerable to flooding. And NDMA, under the Urban Flood Risk Management Program, which was started 3 years ago, has covered several cities and given them funds. So this is a very important aspect which need to be factored. And Gurgaon can also compete for the 4th phase of the Urban Flood Risk Mitigation project under the being launched by NDMA. So that would really, and you seem to have incorporated AI in a big way, and this is very essential that AI-based urban planning is taken to a next level. With this, it brings us to the end of the session, and I am thankful to all the speakers for their putting their points of view. Thank you.
Thank you, esteemed speakers, for sharing insightful perspective on strengthening disaster management systems. Your contributions underscore the importance of preparedness, coordination, and resilience in reducing disaster risks. Now, I would like to request Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnain, member NDMA, to please present the mementos to the guest speakers. Shri Hari Om Gandhi, DIG Training, Headquarter, National Disaster Response Force. Shri Vijay Kumar Dhaka, Chief Engineer, Urban Local Bodies, Haryana. Thank you, sir. Now I request all panel members of session 4 to please assemble for a group photograph. We now move to the open house session. I request Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnain to please take to the stage for this open house session. I also invite
backbone level till the time it reaches you by means of an SMS or a cell broadcast or is announced on the railway stations or on the radio stations. Okay. Now, what are the basic essentials? Which have basic considerations which need to be followed when you are alerting people? I'll not cover. I'll do this very quickly. It is timeliness and speed. It is accuracy and clarity. It is very clear. It has to be accurate. Starting from the warning generation agency has to come out with a very accurate warning, and it has to be consistent till the end. No facts have to be altered or changed. The CAP ensures that this does not happen. You have a multi-channel reach so that if there's any failure of any channel, still the recipients, they receive the message. You have to take care of inclusivity and accessibility by ensuring that it is delivered in the languages which the people can understand, especially for the vulnerable groups, and avoid alert fatigues. And the quality of the alerts and the warning has to generate trust coming up from the authorized sources. Now, this is the basic diagram. The core, the heart of the whole system is Sachet, which is written in the middle. It is a web-based application to which the warning generation agencies, the monitoring and forecasting agencies are basically the warning generating agencies, we call it. These are the IMD for weather alerts, CWC for water events, INCOIS for sea events, DGRE, the erstwhile SASE, and the Forest Survey of India for forest fires. All these agencies generate warnings based on scientific observations and calculations. Okay, now difference between warning and alert is that there may be a warning generated by IMD that there is going to be very heavy rainfall in the Tri-City. Now this warning is based on certain facts which IMD has perceived or calculated. But the alert going to the people depends on the hazard vulnerability of this area. You know, probably the alert to us here sitting in Chandimandir would be to stay indoors, but to Zirakpur it may be to evacuate that area because it may get flooded. Two more agencies which are being added are the Geological Survey of India for landslides. This integration is completed, yet to be rolled out. And the National Dam Safety Authority. There was a lot of talk about dams. There is a National Dam Safety Authority and a National Dam Safety Act 2021, which controls all the 6,000 plus dams, whomsoever they may be owned by. The dams are owned by states, by PSUs, by private bodies, but the safety is the responsibility of the National Dam Safety Authority. So we are integrating with them for a single point to pick up the alerts which these dams local early warning systems are generating so that they can be disseminated to the public. One very good thing about NDSA is that they have got very granular information about the inundation areas which may get inundated after a dam breaches or there is a flow of water. Now on the alert dissemination side, we have got SMS, which you all must be getting. Cell broadcast is another technology about which I'll cover subsequently. We have a mobile app. Again, I'll go in details in one more slide later on. There's a web portal. You can all search it. This portal gives you all live alerts in the country right now. We have RSS feed. RSS feed is a whitelisted feed which any web developer can use it and pick up the alert information and build it up into your own application. You can put it on a hooter, on a signboard. It is free for use by anyone. We have Gagan and Navik satellite terminals, the navigation by Indian constellation, the Indian GNSS, that also carries alert information. So as and when, right now the terminals which are equipped with the Navik chips are getting these alerts, even if they are in deep sea or in high mountains where there is no coverage of mobile phones. As and when the mobile phones which we have graduate to the Navik chipset, which the government has already ordered and which may happen in the next 1 to 2 years, we would be getting the alerts about from this platform even if there is no coverage of the cell phone coverage. We are in the process of integrating with the Indian Railways and Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. The alerts will be sounded on the platforms. They will be SMSed to the passenger list depending on their station of origin or destination. Similarly, on all platforms of MOIB, which is radio, DTH, and cable TV, the alerts would be given. We have already successfully done the test and we've seen the results. It works very well. So basically, we have the observation, monitoring, and analysis agencies which do a forecast or which generate a warning, and the alert generating agencies which have got, which know the exposure inventory and the vulnerability of the area for which they are responsible, which are the disaster managers in the SDMAs. Okay. Now this is basically what transition this whole process has made. You know, before the cap was implemented, the alerts was being passed by the warning generation agencies on their own. There were multiple medias. There was a lot of duplication. They were not geo-targeted. There was no mechanism of feedback institutionalized, and the translation into vernacular languages was being done manually by the SDMAs, and everything was manual. Post implementation of CAP, this whole thing has become automated. SDMAs now are updated about warnings in near real time. The moment IMD uploads a warning, immediately the SDMA can see it. You don't have to mail it or send a fax or do a press release. Okay. Similarly, then SDMAs can further make it into alert and send it across. And we have got a lot of historical data about all these agencies, all their alerts over the past 3-4 years, which is preserved for geospatial and temporal analysis at a later date. Now, cell broadcast, unlike an SMS, you all must have experienced testing of cell broadcast, which has been happening for over the last 1 year. This is set to be launched anytime. It is a matter of weeks or a month maximum. By this technology, everyone who's having a phone in a geo-targeted area can be alerted within seconds. Less than 15 seconds, you'll get a loud warning, including flashing of your phone and the alert. Now this method is very useful for alerting people for any hazard which has got a very short onset period, like an industrial gas leak or a tsunami or a lightning. So this would then further empower the SDMAs greatly in alerting people in a very small geo-targeted areas. Like if this room has to be vacated, it can be done within 10 seconds. Everyone will get all phones will start buzzing at the same time. Sachet application. This is the unified government application for all disasters. You get your location alerts. You'll get alerts to the locations which you have subscribed, which could be your parents or your friends' places. The alerts are read aloud. You get a notification, and you also get weather updates, and you get do's and don'ts pertaining to the particular alerts which you have got. Now this application, unfortunately, we just have about 20 lakh downloads, and it is my request to all of you that please go back to your formations, to your units, to your friends and families, get this app downloaded. Any improvement or upgradation in the whole chain that depends from the IMDs, forecasting, everything is available, will come back to you on this mobile application. We have a portal on which you can see all the alerts. This I'm just showing it to you. And just to give you an idea of the statistics of the number of alerts, since inception, we have sent about 75,000 alerts to the public in terms of about more than 12,000 crore SMSs. And yesterday, last evening, there were 69 alerts which were sent, and 14.54 crore SMS were disseminated. 2.14 lakh people who were having the mobile app were notified. Yesterday, there were a lot of alerts about rain and lightning in northern India, and there were about 15.38 thousand browser notifications. Thank you, sir.
See, the issue which we were trying to tell you was that if you have the Sachet app downloaded in your mobile, you can be posted in Jalandhar, but when you go on leave to Mumbai, you will start getting the alerts of Mumbai. Right? If you don't have Sachet, you will not have that. And of course, you can be locally in an area and keep picking up the alerts on your mobile will come. Remember one thing, that hundreds and thousands of SMSs are sent at one time. And they may not all go through the broadband immediately. Some of them will come to you after 3 hours and 5 hours after the disaster is over, possibly. So now a new technology has already brought out, it's called cell broadcast, is being introduced. In the next couple of months, you will have this also available with you, where your mobile, even if it's on silent, will start giving you an alert, right? The people who have been working on it, let me introduce, besides Colonel Chandola, who has been on it throughout, Colonel KP Singh, Corps of Signals, Serving Officer, Advisor Operations of NDMA. He is the one also who has worked extensively on this. He is the technical go-to man in NDMA, right? On my right is Madam Rita Missal. She is joined the NDMA recently as a member, and so she's my colleague. She has extensive experience in disaster management, and particularly from the angle of reconstruction, refurbishment. That's the post-disaster issues which are related. Usually, most people tend to forget that post-disaster is even more important than the disaster itself. She is the one who has handled this in the United Nations extensively, and now it's been drafted into the NDMA here. So 4 of us are sitting here, GOC11 Corps, my colleague also. If there's anything which is troubling your mind, anything you'd like to know more, we will make our best efforts to try and respond to you. Think about it. There's something in your mind, or any suggestion you want us to take away. I can assure you, yeah. Oh, great. Come.
Thank you, sir. My name is Animesh Prakash, and I head disaster management team at Reliance Foundation. At Reliance Foundation. Okay. Probably the only private sector representation here. Sir, I have a suggestion.
You start segmenting that people who are on the highway, who are driving, this is what they have to do. People who are in their houses, this is what they have to do. Schools, what they are supposed to be doing. Power sector, what they are supposed to be doing. So all that work is on. Maybe in a couple of months, we will be having another version of this app, and based on the role you put in there, that this is what I am and this is where I am and this is what my age profile, etc., is there, it will tell you what precisely to do.
Great, because I feel that the future of an effective early warning system is that it should be impact based and it should be targeted to the population who are getting affected to it.
Feelings are same.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you're 100% right. And I can assure you, for the rest of the house, I was just speaking to GOC11 Co. I was making an offer to him. I said, it's very simple to give a 10-minute presentation on Sachet and early warning systems. Broadly, you get an idea, kuch malum ho jayega before a disaster. That's not the issue. It has to be much more scientific than that. This is the questions you asked has actually instigated this whole thinking, right? You have to be looking at training. People who are going to receive these warnings, how do they respond? You should know that locally, every location, the warnings are going in the language of that place. It's not as if Kerala is getting it in Hindi. It's being translated into Malayalam by the local SDMA and then being sent out. Now, obviously, a tremendous amount of training is required at the SDMA level itself. So I was making an offer just now to GOC11 Co. I said, why don't you send a signals officer to NDMA to come spend 3 days with us, let him get completely orientated to Sachet and to the whole concept of early warning. Let him be the go-to man in 11 Corps. We can conduct small seminars for you anywhere, any part of the country. You come to us as a body, we will organize seminars for you. But this domain has to expand. And it has to expand in an intelligent way. Not just a question of statistics. Okay, 39 million messages have gone, that is meaningless. 39 million messages of what quality have gone. That is the important thing.
So before I give mic, I have one small comment on behalf of Reliance Foundation. We just wanted to share that we are also committed to this cause of disaster risk reduction and preparedness. Fairly good team, working across disaster risk reduction, preparedness, and disaster response. There are certain areas like, supply chain, which we draw from our retail units and other things, which actually helps us to respond in, shortest possible lead time. There are areas like technology, AI, where we can make significant contribution. So, if any of you feel that, there are opportunities where Reliance can come forward and, support this cause of, disaster risk reduction, management, response, we will be willing and pleased to contribute in that forum. Yeah.
We'll take your details. Our officers are here. We'll meet after this. And anything that we can do together, we'll be very happy to do.
Thank you, sir.
Any other query from anyone? One more.
Sir, I'm Colonel Anthony. I'm commanding the engineer regiment at Amritsar. One suggestion, sir, and one query. Suggestion is, sir, when we go to address any natural calamity, we heard that there are EOCs at every district, but I don't think we have operational bases earmarked at every, let us say, block level or ward level. Because what happens is when, let us say, every stakeholder gets into that place of calamity, we require a space where every resource can get together, coordinate, and then move out of that particular space. This time we got into, let us say, a school or a college space or something. So at the policy level, let us say at a DC level, if he earmarks at every block oblique ward a space wherein the BDO knows that in case of any emergency, this is a safe zone where everyone can come, contact, and go ahead for carrying out the relief work. So that was a suggestion, sir. It was a lesson learned from the recent Punjab floods.
What is your query?
The query is, just at our army level, as you are aware, that we keep on creating our HADR bricks as per the resources that we are having at hand. So just wanted some light on what is the state framework, what is the status on the HADR brick to various calamities.
I think Sanjeev can answer it best. Sanjeev, those 10 bricks plus QAMT.
That is Colonel Sanjeev Sahi.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel
Joint
Sanjeev.
Advisor of Operations in NDMA.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Sanjeev, as mentioned by sir. Now the question regarding the HADR bricks in the civil domain, in the army we have around 10 HADR bricks at the command level, and similarly that includes Air Force as well as the naval commands. Now in civil, this concept is still picking up. At that, some of the districts they have HADR bricks, or they call it HADR store, not exactly the bricks the way we say. So this concept is still picking up in the civil. Not all the districts, not all the states have this setup as of now.
At national level, NDRF is maintaining certain stores at 2 locations. One is in Gujarat and one is in Hindan, if I'm not wrong. And that's where most of these HADR stores are. And the reason for choosing these 2 locations was proximity to the Air Force assets which are co-located there.
But overall, there is a necessity of creating hubs. There is no doubt about it. As we go forward, there will be many areas in the country, particularly in the mountains, where you will need these hubs. Ladakh is one place where you will definitely need it. Kashmir itself needs, with the flood situation the way it is in the valley, you need so much of floating equipment, so many boats, etc. In the last flood in 2014, there was an acute shortage of boats at that particular time. So no, these kind of things will have to be created in different parts of the country as we go along. Yeah, there's one more question. I think that's the last one. Yeah. Oh, Introduce yourself so that everyone knows who you are.
Sir, I am Colonel Arun Nain, sir. Colonel Lowell, Headquarter IDSL. I'll look after national and international disaster.
Arun is the go-to person for the NDMA for everything under the sun. Whenever there is a disaster, the first person who's rung up is him. Okay.
Sir, DGMO and Army Chief is about to formalize around location of 17 HADR breaks depending on types of disaster, which we will be placing at different places, like you said, Leh, Ladakh, also Srinagar also, sir. At the same time, medical and surgical level also, sir, we have got more than 14 bricks which we have located all along the entire length and breadth across the country, sir. Same way, sir, around the coastal regions in Western Naval Command, Eastern Naval Command, Southern Naval Command, again we have got different types of HADR stores. Clothing brick is there, ration brick is there, water brick is there, ration brick is there, what we maintain, sir. Whenever any type of ship sails out, it is only Indian Navy in the entire world which moves out with these HADR brick pellets. So shortly, another year or so, sir, we will be locating all these bricks where they are required the most, sir.
The Corps of Engineers, particularly engineered bricks, is something that you will require more extensively perhaps. So the quantification, the quality of it, etc. will need to keep getting reviewed. The other domain which needs to be perhaps looked at is the medical bricks, right? Because medical, I mean, any amount is too little, always, in these kind of disaster situations, right? And more the AMC is brought into this to bring an understanding among all ranks of the AMC, the better it is always. Just for the house, since most of the people are from the uniformed community itself, you should know that the Corps of Engineers particularly, CO engineers from Amritsar was just speaking just now, we consider in NDMA is the one organization, one entity which can contribute so much. It's not, the NDRF is already there. The NDRF is the main arm. The specialized arm is the NDRF. But the Corps of Engineers and the BRO particularly has got such tremendous capacity that not utilizing it and not training it, not making them aware of it, of their own capability, is actually sacrilege. It's required for a national cause to save Indian lives, Indian livelihoods. That's the important thing.
Now, I'll answer Colonel Anthony's question, sir. Whenever a disaster strikes, give an example of Bhanaghat train accident. DG Home Guards is the IRS commander there, sir. He said he had a doubt that how will the stores be received in that location. What happens is that DG Home Guards in morning and evening, he will take the conference, sir. Any stores or manpower which is marshalling into that area reports to him, sir. Whether it is Army, Navy, NDRF or anyone. So evening he will take a conference, morning he will take a conference. As and when the stores are received, he will marshal to the area where they are required. This is how the state governments and responsible officer is normally the DC of that district. This is how he is supposed to do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else? Anyone else? Okay. Chief Engineer. I hope I didn't inspire you to speak suddenly, the Chief Engineer? No.
Sir, just in continuation of the what points were given by the previous speaker, sir. Sir, I'm Major General Rawal. I'm the Chief Engineer of Western Command, sir. Firstly, input regarding the HADR brick, sir. That procurement is being taken up in mission mode, sir. And we will not take 1 year, sir. We'll be ready much before that, sir. Point, sir, which I wish to submit is the availability of bridge, sir. Come monsoon, sir, and we have an incessant rain of more than 3 hours, we start losing sleep here because we don't know which bridge will go away. And then we start counting the bridge which are available in our inventory and they rapidly deplete, sir. Last time we had very anxious moments because we suddenly realized that we may run out of all the bridges which are available in our AOR and yet we may not be able to meet the demand, sir. So my suggestion is, sir, that there is a need to think of having an additional inventory of bridges, may not be in very large numbers, and different type of bridges which are available either with the state governments or with some central agency other than the army, which can be made available, sir, and they can be subsequently used because we will launch the bridge, but we need the equipment, sir.
I think your point is very well taken. For the House, you should know that the number of bridges sent to Sri Lanka in this time for the relief operations, the HADR operations, 8 bridges from the Corps of Engineers, I think all from Pathankot, were picked up from the engineer park and sent there. And I don't know how many bridges were used last year in 2025. What was the number utilized ultimately from Pathankot in the Jammu sector and in Punjab? There must have been about 7, 8 bridges, yes, sir, at least. So that many bridges you are short of that many bridges in your overall operational capability. So this is something that, I mean, to have people from the uniform in NDMA is also important. We realized it the moment this was happening. The first advice we gave was this, okay, don't take from the army so many bridges because their entire offensive capability will get compromised. So now I hope we will be able to inspire people to sort of cater for these resources separately and have them stored in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank the participants for their active engagement and to our guest speakers for their insight and expertise. I request Lieutenant General Ajay Chandpuria, General Officer Commanding 11 Corps, to please present the mementos to the guest speakers. Ms. Rita Missal, Member, National Disaster Management Authority. Colonel K.P. Singh, Advisor, National Disaster Management Authority. Thank you, sir. I request the members of the open house session to kindly assemble for a group photograph. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. As a mark of deep appreciation, the National Disaster Management Authority is honored to present a small token of gratitude to some brave individuals for their exemplary courage, selfless service, and unwavering commitment to duty during the flood relief operations in 2025 as part of Operation Rahat. In the face of extreme adversity, their timely action, personal sacrifice, and dedication to saving lives stands as a shining example of humanitarian service and interagency cooperation. I request Lieutenant General Hasnain to kindly come up to the stage to felicitate the individuals. Mr. Parmjeet Singh. Mr. Gurashish Singh. Subedar Major Ranjit Singh, retired. Havaldar Balbir Singh, retired. Mr. Sher Singh Thakur, Jammu. Ms. Balbir Kaur, Jammu. Subedar Major Ranjot Singh, retired, Ajnala. Thank you, sir. Sir, I would now request Ms. Rita Missal to please come up on the stage to felicitate the individuals. Mr. Ravinder Pal Singh. Mr. Sukhdev Singh, ex-Sarpanch. Mr. Sandeep Kumar, Superintendent Engineer, Firozpur. Honorary Captain Bakshish Singh, Shaurya Chakra, retired, Ruknewala. Honorary Captain Harvinder Singh, retired. Mr. Damandeep Singh, Executive Engineer, Fasi. Hardev Singh, Sarpanch. Thank you, ma'am. I would now invite all individuals felicitated due to their actions for Op Rahat to kindly assemble on the stage for a group photograph. Also request General Hasnain, Ms. Rita Missal, and Shri Manish Bhardwaj to also kindly stand for the group photograph. Thank you, sir. I now request Lieutenant General Ajay Chandpuria, General Officer commanding 11 Corps, to kindly deliver the concluding remarks and vote of thanks.
Right, distinguished guests and especially my young friends from the NCC and the college, I know it's little late in the day, and fellow officers. I think the NDMA and Western Command came together to spread awareness on disaster management and resilience. Reflects the country's collective resolve to overcome both the natural and man-made disasters through preparedness, foresight, and the collective effort of all, including the civil administration, the armed forces, and as we said, whole of a nation approach. Incorporation of technology to prepare for the future while learning from the past is what needs to be done at all levels. So while the statutory legislations in terms of the Disaster Management Act 2005 or the Disaster Management Policy of 2009 amplify the role to be played by each entity and stakeholder, and which places the key pillar of the national disaster response in the armed forces. I think what we learned today, that we have to move from reactive employment to anticipatory mitigation and preparation. I think that's the essence of it. We have learned a large number of lessons, and I think today's long but extremely useful. At least personally, I was thinking it would turn out to be a little mundane towards it. However, it came to the operative part and the conceptual, I think extremely educative and useful for all of us. Disaster tests the response agencies, populations, and institutional cohesion. We have seen in Punjab during Op Rahat how the floods, possibly through better management, individually each stakeholder is doing what they can, what they should. However, aggregation from the conceptual level to the ground level, I think, is where we could work a little better on that account. One central theme is that whole of nation and indeed whole of society, and the indispensability of military-civil fusion, because all said and done, the capacity and the experience that the armed forces bear to get on the table is something that can't be wished away in this entire process. The rapid urbanization is one phenomena, 1.58% of 1.5 billion people. You are talking of almost 1.5 crore people urbanizing every year. The kind of challenges that it poses, and we have seen the impact of that in the states like Himachal and even the urban centers, population centers. Today's insights by states and union territories, coupled with the candid exchange during the open house, have brought to fore important issues that require planning, along with enhanced budgetary allocation, staffing, coordination, and resilience. All effort indeed begin with awareness, which is then strengthened through preparedness and the success through successful partnerships. While we have great hopes in the individual initiative, I think we all need to move fast so that we don't wait for the next disaster to happen. From the Army's perspective, our vision is clear. While we have our primary task mandated in the defense of the national interest, there can be no doubt about our preparedness for responding to disasters as a whole of nation approach. Based on the deliberations, the command envisages a future-ready disaster management framework where AI-driven early warning systems, induction of modern and state-of-the-art composite bricks and systems, joint preparedness, and community engagement will form the foundation of such a resilience. In closing, the Conclave has strengthened partnerships, sharpened understanding, and reaffirmed our shared responsibilities. Together, through anticipation, coordination, and collective resolve, we can transform vulnerability into resilience and ensure a safer, stronger India. And as already said, we plan to take this engagement down to the district levels across the entire area of responsibility. On behalf of Lieutenant General Manoj Kumar Katiyar, the General Officer Commanding in Chief, Western Command, I thank the NDMA, all speakers, panelists, and of all the participants, both in physical and the VC mode, for their participation and valuable contribution. I hope you have enjoyed and learnt as much as I have. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Ms. Rita Missal, Member, National Disaster Management Authority, to kindly deliver the closing remarks.
Lieutenant General Chandpuria, General Ata Hasneji, my fellow colleagues, all the defense officers, military officers here, members from the civil society. Was very excited to see members from the panchayat as well, the technological universities and everyone. We are reaching the end of today, a very, very interesting day, I must say. As I get my feet wet into NDMA, with barely 2 months behind my back, I find myself every day being surprised at the quantum of work that is being done by this national institution. So I feel privileged to stand here to try and summarize what has been a very rich sort of discussion today. The first thing I must, I think, confess that my first encounter with the army was way back in 2002, perhaps, when I was still in Odisha and I was asked to go and see a cloudburst in Agunda, Tehri district. I neither had an understanding of what cloudburst was, being from the coast, and now did I understand where this place called Agunda was, but I was determined, since I was deployed there, I should go and see. And when I reached the district, it was not the district headquarters that the DC was there, but he was unable to go. It's like over the hills. So it was the army, which actually an army contingent was going up to deliver relief supplies, that actually took me along with them. I was almost on my knees. They pulled me up, and we had to climb 3,000 feet up to actually climb up to the mountains to where this village was. So that encounter with the army has given me a deep respect for the professionalism and the integrity with which the military and army and all these services work in our country. And so today, when we have this, meeting of the NDMA, the civil society with the armed forces, I can say that this particular meeting has been very, very successful thanks to all the efforts that have gone together. And this is the most critical thing that happens, that when we are talking about the whole of society approach, everybody needs to come together, right? And I think General Atna Hasnain very beautifully put together, saying that this can be a national security issue, so it is everybody's responsibility. And so that brings everyone into the fold. I must say these things before I, to leave. I feel some ways, disasters are faster outpacing each of us. We all are trying to do things, but they are moving much faster. And disasters seem to be most well coordinated, better than us, So they have the floods, they have the avalanches, they have the landslide, all one after the other, while we are still in different branches working together trying to respond. We have avalanche experts, landslide mitigation experts, flood experts. All of us in different ways trying to work together. They are much better coordinated than we are. So one of the key messages I get from today is that our coordination, all of us seem to be doing excellent job. And you could see from today's presentation, whether it was the Highways Authority or the hydropower, whether it was the road and transport, or other IITs who are working with the startups, General Brar in many of his examples, that everyone is doing excellent work. But we are not coming together to make that bigger impact to overcome the pace at which disasters are hitting us, So I think the efforts that we are making must be multiplied in such a way that we should be reaching out in much more effective manner. So we try to outpace disasters as much as disasters outpace. I've also seen that, we have given examples of states like Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, and Jammu and Kashmir, which have right from the beginning to the lowest level, and it was so excellent to see people from the panchayat here, that experience of having to set up systems right from the top to the community below. That rigor must exist in all states, because we have noticed that, SDMAs are barely existent in some states. DDMAs and block level, panchayat level are quite weak in that sense. So that strengthening and having this layered approach to early warning systems, to institutions, to management of disasters must be standardized across the country. I think that's an important message that came through, particularly from the examples that we saw. I would also like to draw an example from the Prime Minister and 10-point agenda. And today when we were discussing, it comes to my mind, that one of the important things that came across is the first point of the agenda, which says mainstream DRR in development. And we realized that all the disasters we are facing is mostly man-made. It is an accumulation of risk of development planning that has gone wrong. So unless we do our development planning the right way, that is the first point of the agenda, we are not going to be able to reduce disaster risk. Number two, I think we were talking about women's leadership, and I'm glad Jammu and Kashmir brought it up. I'm glad we saw a women leader who was felicitated today. Thank you, sir, to this effort for felicitating women. But the women leadership effort in Jammu and Kashmir must be much stronger and wider, because we see that they make a difference. Our SDRF and NDRF members, especially women members, have been able to get into places where male members have not been. So that is the second point, second or third point. Next one, we've heard enough about leveraging technologies, and we have seen some bright examples about how this has been done. How can this be leveraged across by all states, by all actors? That's an important point that came through, and that must be also something that we live through. We talked about network, university networks, and we saw IIT Mandi, you were talking about IIT Chennai, other IIT and institutions. Someone spoke about Himalayan Institution Technology, Vadia Institute of Technology that you would need. This was one of the points the Prime Minister's 10-point agenda speaks about. How do we promote technology and university-related networks to make best of our disaster management systems? And I think we need to capitalize on the knowledge. We need to capitalize on the experience that is sitting there, whether it is CBRI or if it is CDRI, it does not matter. As long as we are able to use it in our states, that's very important. The other thing I think that came across very strongly was about local capacity building. We realize it doesn't matter how strong and how good we are, unless we have the lowest level of people, the local people in standby involved in our response mechanisms, we are losing that golden hour. We talked about that golden hour of 48 hours, 24 hours, so many times from morning till now. I think having emphasis on laying foundations of disaster preparedness and response systems at the local level is critical, so that the expertise that we are bringing from the top can actually go down to the bottom and be utilized when it is the right time, whether it was in Wayanad or whether it was in Punjab or whether it was J&K. We realize it is the local people who did heroic work much beyond their call of duty. And thank you so much, Western Command, for honoring all these people who have gone beyond their call of duty. This is an excellent recognition of what local communities and local people can do. So that is an example. Then the final thing that I would like to say, which we have done the entire day, is to learn from disasters. That was one of the key points of the Prime Minister's 10-point agenda. This is a great example of when we come together to learn from each other. It was an eye-opener for me, I must say, to hear the hydropower power institutes, the dam safety, the road systems, and the military and the civil society all coming together to speak about what they have done for disaster management, you know. So this kind of lessons learned and review, that we do it much often in a much more, much more rigorous manner, I would say. And we do it for different states at the lowest level, so we have a greater participation, and including all the stakeholders that we had, from line departments onwards to the civil military as well. So this was an excellent opportunity to kind of see how Prime Minister's 10-point agenda is actually being vocalized and actually being realized in many of our work in disaster management. And towards the end, I would like to say very much thank you from National Disaster Mitigation Authority for being our partners in disaster management. The national authority is only an authority, but it can only work when arms of civil and military come together. We don't work on our individual. So thank you very much to all of you, and I'm sure you will be tired at this long day and be relieved to say I'm ending this speech right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request Lieutenant General Syed Atta Hasnain to kindly come on the stage to present a small token of gratitude to Western Command on behalf of National Disaster Management Authority. I request Lieutenant General Rajesh Pushkar, General Officer Commanding 2 Corps, to please accept the same on behalf of Western Command. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Lieutenant General Pushkar to please present a memento to Lieutenant General Syed Atta Hasnain on behalf of Western Command. Thank you, sir. I extend our sincere thanks to all our panelists for their valuable insights and all the participants for their active engagement. The discussions today have reinforced the importance of strong, coordinated disaster management systems. We hope the insights shared will inform future actions and preparedness. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the conclusion of Western Command Disaster Management Conclave 2026. Thank you for your participation. Jai Hind.
Thank you.